Hey, one more thing before you go. Have you ever felt an unbelievable connection to certain places, people, or cultures? Perhaps you've experienced deja vu, that eerie feeling of reliving a moment from the past. These are signs that you might have had past lives, and they are influencing your present journey. Stay tuned as we delve into the mysteries of past life regression with an expert and how it can help you transform your life today. I'm your host, Michael Herst. I'll be guiding you on this enthralling adventure of self discovery. Welcome to One More Thing Before You Go. In this episode, we're going to explore the mysteries of our soul's journey through time and space in a fascinating adventure of discovering who you were, who you are, and who you will be. My guest is Stephanie Lee. She's a certified past life regression practitioner. She specializes in quantum healing, which we'll talk about, and guiding individuals to heal inner childhood wounds, release emotional barriers, and embrace their authentic selves. She's a wife, a mother, a listener, a lover of hummingbirds. So stay tuned. We're going to delve into the benefits of reconnecting with past life experiences, understanding how they shape our present lives and influence our soul's purpose. Get ready to unlock the secrets of your past and embark on a transformational journey of self discovery and how to uncover the hidden threads that connect you to your ancient past. Welcome to the show, Stephanie.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
This is going to be an amazing conversation, I think, with understanding, well, everything I just said, how we do
Yes.
have past lives and our soul continues to move forward, and that we have the ability to go back and visit those lives, right?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And it's very fun and interesting. And it's done in a way that is so relaxing and so peaceful and calm that all you have to do is lay there and close your eyes.
That's the best part. And you
Yes.
you 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 wake up refreshed and when I say wake up, I should say when you come back to present day, you'll be refreshed and relaxed, and you'll have a better understanding how maybe those past lives are affecting you in this life.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
It is amazing how that works and the
it's,
lessons that you can learn.
it's pretty cool, actually. I think that we all have an opportunity to should I say investigate? That's a kind of a
Hmm.
unique word. Investigate where we came from, who we were in the past, and I we all want to know, look, who was I? Hopefully, I wasn't like
Right.
Napoleon Bonaparte or one of those bad guys.
But if you were, that was just something that you chose in your pre-birth plan. I'm going to choose to be this person. I'm going to be in this body. I'm going to have these parents and I'm going to be this person and these are the things I need to learn from being Napoleon Bonaparte or whatnot, right?
Right.
These are the contracts that I have and these are the lessons I need to learn while in this body.
Well, sometimes we have to question why did I do that?
Right.
You know, it's, one of those
Right.
things. If I knew this and it was all, I mean, we've had some conversations on the show about Akashic records and how
Hmm.
Akashic records that we're allowed to go in there and see how we planned out this life and what we're going
Right.
to bring to it, which I think connects also with the previous lives because you can
Yes.
understand your journey with your soul here. So I'm excited, but we should start at the beginning though. That's where we
Okay,
should
let's
start.
start at the beginning.
Yes. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Portland, Oregon. Lived here like pretty much my whole life, pretty much, yeah.
What was
And
what'd you want to be when you grew up?
interior designer, and I knew that from like a young age, and I did. That's what I went to school for. I went to school for interior design. I got my bachelor's degree in interior design and business, and went out into the world and did that.
That it's interesting when you well, when you first got, for example, when you went to go and be let me try that and take two. All these questions are running through my head and they all got tangled up coming out my mouth. So so when you chose that path for yourself to be an interior designer, had you
Mhm.
any indication at all that you would end up exploring people's past lives?
Oh, no way. Oh, no way. No, that wasn't even like on the radar at all.
Just
Yeah,
remote.
that probably wasn't on the radar till maybe when I started after becoming a medium. It was probably more on the radar.
So, can you help? I should have brought that up sooner. I mean, I talked about the fact that you're a medium. Do you have to be a medium to understand past lives?
No, not at all. You could go and just be a past life progression past life regression practitioner, and that's what your focus is. But I just tend to follow the breadcrumbs. And so, like, mediumship led me to Reiki. And then Reiki led me to quantum touch. Quantum touch led me to oracle cards. Oracle cards led me to numerology. I mean, if it's in front of me and I want to do it, I'm going to find, a teacher or someone to teach me that because I'm really interested in it.
Well, it's nice that the universe put the little breadcrumbs, as you said, right in front of you. So you
Yes.
would follow the breadcrumbs and get to where you're at today.
Yeah.
What came first, the mediumship or the past life?
Mediumship. Mediumship. Yeah.
How'd that come about?
Well, was in working for corporate America. Yay! And I just kept thinking, there's got to be more to this. There's got to be more to this. There's got to be a way where I can give back to people or make more of an impact than just going to work and doing what they need me to do. And I was laying in bed watching The Long Island Medium. And I'd watched that show for a while and it just fascinated me. And I just thought, wow. And one night I was just laying there going, I want to do that. I want to do what Teresa Caputo can do. Maybe not go into the grocery store and say, I have your lost father with me, but
I,
I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to help people. And so that's sort of where that started.
I love Teresa Caputo.
I
I haven't
know.
seen that show for a long time. I don't
Yeah.
know if she's still doing it or not. I know she got
Yeah.
divorced from her husband,
Yeah.
but I don't know if she stopped doing it after that or not. But yeah, we used
Nope.
to religiously
She's,
watch that.
yeah. Yeah.
It's very
And
cool.
it's funny because when I went on that journey to find, okay, well, how am I going to do this? Right? Like, can I do this? Can I do this? Are we allowed to, at the age of 40, become a medium? I mean, how does that work?
I think we
Like,
have permission at any age to embark on a new
yes.
journey.
But
Yeah.
I didn't know how it was going to happen. Right? Like, I didn't know. Right? So I started looking at mediums around me and that were near me that I could go learn with. And I kept looking at this one and I kept going, the times of her classes just weren't right for me. And somehow it just didn't feel right. Like I was like, I don't know. And then I look at it again a few months later and I'm like, this doesn't feel right. So then I found someone who did feel right and I went and worked with her for a while. And then I found another teacher, and I found a whole group of people who were with this teacher. And then I went and spent a whole week and a half in California learning from this teacher and learning and being with all these other mediums. And I learned so much. And then from there, I started to learn, like, Reiki and all of that. But the funny story is, I just want to kind of twirl back to that, is when I started to go on my journey to learn about past life regression, I was, as I was looking into it, I was like, oh, okay, so I need to really be a certified hypnotherapist to do this. And I was like, okay, that's fine. It's just one more thing I can add to help somebody else. And as I was looking into different places around town, I found this one center who would certify you in hypnotherapy and past life regression. And the gentleman who taught the class, his wife was the medium that I potentially could have worked with 10 years before that.
That's
I was
amazing.
like, I can't make this up.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think the universe puts the people in our pathway that
Yeah.
we need to connect with in order to move our lives forward in a particular way. I
Yes.
wholeheartedly believe in that. What was your first experience as a medium?
Oh my gosh. Well, when you start, it's kind of difficult because you don't trust what you're getting. So you really have to just
Right.
let go and trust. And then when you bring things through, um, it's, you're like, really? Is this right? Like, I can remember one of our teachers said, okay, now you need to go practice with some people, like your friends, like just go see what you can do. And I was with my best friends who I've known my entire life, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, so I'm holding a picture of this person, can't see their face, and I start bringing something through, and they're like, oh, let me, this person that I was bringing
Mhm.
through was the father of one of my girlfriend's boyfriends. So he was not in the room with us. And I'm like, did he almost drown or save someone from drowning or something? And they're like, yeah. And he's on the phone. And so we're
Right.
asking him, is this right? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I said, was there a room where there was a window covered up? Like someone had a bedroom, but on the outside, the inside of the room, you could see the window. And on the outside of the room, they had covered it with like siding or something. I said, was there a room like that? He goes, oh my gosh, yes. So those kinds of things, when that happens, it builds your confidence as a
Yeah.
medium to go, oh, what I'm really seeing is this is real. Like these, I have to give this information. It's not that my head is just making this stuff up.
It's a
Like
great
I just have to,
validation.
yeah, it's like, it's validating that I'm doing it right. I'm doing it, but it takes a while to get there and really trust yourself enough.
Through these numerous conversations I've had on this podcast, I've been grateful enough and luckily enough to kind of understand perspective as children. I've talked to individuals that they first learned about their gifts in mediumship and talking with the other side. They're talking with angels or whatever
Hmm.
they their expertise is in, and they've always said, "Well, as a child, I used to get these experiences, that would
Hmm.
come through to me." And but then we have societal rules that
Yes.
tell us, well, you shouldn't do that.
Right.
That's just you. Your imaginary friend really is just your imaginary friend. It's not another person. It's not a spirit.
Right.
And they kind of shut that door
Hmm.
from those perspectives. Do you remember anything as a child where you may have had some inklings that may have popped through and but was kind of quashed or put away?
No, I actually had an imaginary friend, and her name was Jasmine, and she lived in my ear.
Cool. Very cool.
um, but my mom actually like encouraged that, but I didn't feel like it was like getting messages or not. Like I didn't feel like any of that really happened
From
during
that
my
perspective.
childhood or growing up or anything. Yeah.
Well, you have found it. We'll say you around 40.
Yeah.
That was like last couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
That you
exactly.
exactly that you learned you learned of this gift and helped to promote it and to push it forward and that obviously I'm sure helps you with the past life regression stuff. But
Oh,
let's have
yes.
everybody understand. We all have past lives, correct?
Yes, we all have past lives. And the life that you are in right now is just what I would call a little blip on your timeline. You've had so many lives that what you're dealing with right now could be affected from other past lives that you've had. So you just have to remember that we're going to come back. We're going to see our loved ones again. They're part of our spirit family, and that we never truly die. This is just a funny little costume that we're wearing over our soul, which is just in our body. It's the little tiny piece of our soul, which is in this particular body that we chose to come here and have this experience on earth.
So, in being able to connect with those past lives, how does that affect us today? I mean, is that where karma comes through? I mean, I'm going to ask a series of questions in regard to I think that is that where karma comes through, whether it be
Well,
positive or negative. Does that come from
right,
that?
because there's positive karma and negative karma. And right now, you and I are experiencing karma together because karma is always happening because we're all interconnected. So you could have done something in a past life where you knew the truth and yet you were telling lies. And then you come
Mm,
into this lifetime and you decide, well, I'm going to have a handicap of not being able to communicate correctly, you know, because I know the truth, but I'm not going to be able to communicate it because this is how I'm going to learn from my
mm,
past. This
that
is
makes
how I'm
sense.
going to learn from it.
Do you think
Yeah.
physical ailments come up with that?
Oh yeah.
So if we
Yeah.
bring something
Like
from a past life, maybe to a physical ailment that I I I, I don't really want to say handicap or
nope.
disability, but in
Yep.
reality, even from that perspective. So if we end up with a disability of some type in this life, how does that connect to us from the past?
Well, there's two different ways you can do past life regression. One, you can do it psychically. Like I can psychically tune into you and request to see a past life. And I started out that way. Like I took this class and then I was just really struggling. I was like, I can't see anything about this person. I'm not really feeling it. And then like the very last class, it just hit me like a bolt. We had to focus on one of our teammates in the class and say something that they brought from that lifetime into this lifetime. And so when I focused on this woman, I saw her leg and like her foot, there was something wrong with her foot. So she was either dragging her foot or there was something wrong with her foot. And I'm like, so what I see is this woman with a foot that she's dragging it, she's limping, she's a barmaid, everybody's teasing her, but this is how she makes her money. So she's got to do this. Well, come to find out in this lifetime, she's had 12 surgeries on her foot and her leg. And I just started bawling and crying because first I felt like I had said something maybe that was, pushing her to reveal something that she may not have wanted to reveal to us. I mean, she'd only known us for just a few weeks, but that I was right on. I was like, I can't believe that I connected in with that with you. Because I mean, we're on a Zoom call. The whole class is a Zoom call. So I can only see from here up for her. I can't tell what's going on with her legs or her feet or anything.
Yeah,
So that was really interesting. Really interesting.
yeah, I would think so. I mean, it's. I think that we all kind of wonder. Well, I would say majority of us would have to wonder as to what we brought forward from the past life, whether again, as we said earlier, positive or negative. I know
Right.
that each one of those experiences they connect to what we're experiencing today, as you said a little bit ago,
Yes.
to learn something like that. So if we have a really deep connection with a certain place, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going, okay, I need to go back to France. And I
Mm-hmm.
really need to go see what's in France. I need to really visit France. I haven't been able to visit France, but let me go see. I really, really deep down inside me have a need to go visit France.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that we can bring forward from the past life, do you think, or from several past lives?
Yeah, like you may have lived there for many years. You may go to France, walk down a street, and go, I know this street. I know I have been here before. And it's
Go,
just a place where you were before. It's another life that you had, another experience in a different country, in a different life, because you pick where you're going to reincarnate. You get to pick the city, you get to pick the country, you get to pick your parents, you pick your friend. I mean, you pick it all. Where am I going to learn this, what I need to learn, and where am I going to what's going to benefit me the most of living in this space and learning what I need to
from
learn
that
from
perspective.
this. Yeah.
How many past lives do you feel that we can have?
Well, if you listen to Dolores Cannon, which I do a lot, she says you start out as like a rock, and then you're the
Yeah,
water, and then maybe you're something else, and then you keep going, and you're a tree, and then you're a bush, and then you're all the different animals. So we could have had thousands of different past lives as so that you can experience what it's like in each of those things, right? What does it feel like to be a tree? What does it feel like to sway when there's a storm? You know, what does that feel like?
to me
You know,
that's
when you
fascinating. It it,
when
it
you
mu-
go outside, do
yeah,
you connect with nature? I mean, I know I
yeah,
do.
I
And I
do.
look at these
Yeah,
beautiful trees and I just
yeah.
think, thank you so much for being here.
I go out and
Thank
talk to
you
my
for
trees.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I talk to my trees, and my bushes, and the flowers, and the birds, and the
Yeah.
bees, and we have hummingbirds and bee. I know you love
Yeah.
hummingbirds. We have hummingbirds,
Yes.
and they'll come up in front of my face or my wife's face when we're sitting
Oh
on the back
yeah.
patio, and they'll go, "Hey, thanks," and they'll go to the next flowers. Same thing with the bees.
Yeah.
Even the bees. We have big patio doors that slide open. You could see me looking down there like I'm pointing. How would they
Yeah, they're
slide
right
open?
down
You
there.
could see that, right? They slide open, and that's the Italian in me somewhere. See,
Right. Right.
they'll come through. They'll fly through the house, and then they'll go right back out the door. Like I'm just checking, and here we go.
Yeah.
They've gone around us. They don't bother me. They don't bother my
Right.
wife, and they don't bother Charlie, our dog. And they'll go to the next bush or the next flower and do their
Yeah.
thing. So yes, I do believe that. It's fascinating what you said there. My wife one time years ago had gone through this individual that was a regression therapist
Mm-hmm.
and took her back and told her that she was a rock.
Yeah.
So when you brought that up, that's
Yeah.
going to validate that for her because she came out of that session going, "How can it be a rock?"
How can I be a rock? What
Exactly.
was I supposed to learn from being a rock? You know?
Not to get picked up and thrown.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's going to find that really interesting that you brought that up because it has always been a question for her in
Oh,
regard to
yeah.
that because going, yeah, I walked out there going, why'd you tell me I was a rock? And to this day, she's kind of thought, well, maybe it was just supposed to be an experience I was supposed to
Yeah.
have,
Mm-hmm.
from that perspective. And she said that she's deathly afraid of water. She doesn't know why,
Mm.
but I'm assuming that's something from a past life
Yeah.
where she'll go swimming, but
Mm-hmm.
don't put her out in a boat in the ocean, kind of a thing. It's
Ah.
one of those she does not like open water. If
Yeah.
she can see the shore. I'm looking over there like I'm looking at the shore.
You're right. Yeah.
You're
Ooh,
getting a
right down there.
visual picture, right? If she can see the shore, then she's okay. But the
Yeah.
minute she can't see the shore, she kind of panics,
Yeah.
which is like, an interesting perspective. So
Yeah.
she's
I
always thought,
wonder if she traveled on a ship for a long time from one country to another, or yeah.
yeah, whatever the case may be. Yeah. So it's cool that you brought that portion of it. Let's talk about past life regression and how that comes about and how that works. Let's educate people in regard to what exactly past life regression is. Can we?
Yes. So basically, it's hypnosis. And the way I do it is just over Zoom, just like we're doing right here. And the reason why I really like that over Zoom is because you get to be in your own home where you feel safe. It's important that you feel safe where you are so that you will relax even more. So if you're in your own home, you feel safe, you can relax, and then even better, you get to be in your own bed where you feel so comfortable. And so then you relax even more, or on the couch or in your favorite chair, whatever really works for you. But I want you to be safe and I want you to feel secure so that you can just close your eyes and listen to the sound of my voice and just relax your body. And so I'll take you through a relaxation sequence, and then I'll probably float you on a cloud for a while. And as you come down from the cloud, I will say you've gone through many, many years back into the past. And then as you land, then we start the discovery process. And I always say, like, look at your feet. Tell me what's on your feet. And they'll describe their shoes or they'll describe the land that they're on. And I'll say, look around. What do you see? And we just kind of go from there and we kind of just talk about, okay, what's around you? How are you dressed? And then we go into more questions and we talk about what was your profession and move you ahead. Okay, let's go to a day in the life of what you did for a living. And then let's go to your best day in that life. And I want you to describe that day to me. What was so wonderful about that day? And then we go to the worst day of your life. What happened during that day? What did you learn from that? And then we go to, let's see. And then as you're doing that, you might see people from this lifetime with you in that lifetime. And then may not play the same role. So your dad in this life could be your son in the next life, or you could be your dad's dad or something, right? And so we can see our loved ones with us as well. And then I take you through the death sequence and you get to watch, how did you die? How did you pass? And what were the lessons that you learned at the end of your life? What would you do differently? What would you do better? What do you still need to work on from that lifetime in this lifetime? What are you working on? What are your experiences? How can you be a better person in this lifetime? And that's sort of it. It's just a really relaxing journey that you get to just be in your bed and listen to me talk to you, and we get to have a conversation with your eyes closed.
And that, I mean, that works. I mean, that is kind of
Yeah,
a, yeah, I think people are afraid of hypnosis when they hear that word
yeah.
hypnosis, and from coming from my perspective, and you as a professional that does this for a living as well, and have done this for a number of years, we need to let everybody that's out there watching or listening to understand that, this is a very sophisticated process that is easy to go through. We don't
Mhm.
make you do something that you wouldn't want to
No,
do in the first place.
no, no.
We would not make you go rob a bank,
No.
or, knock off a gas station or harm somebody or something like that. That this is a process that allows you to take them back and guide them to a
Mhm.
previous incarnation. And
Yes.
the description that you were giving me earlier is, I'm assuming that the look at your feet, see what you're wearing on your feet, what kind of
Mhm.
clothes you're wearing, helps you
Yeah.
to determine maybe time period or era
Yeah. Yes.
from that
Yes. That
perspective.
helps the people like, oh, and then I'll say, like, well, where do you think you are? And they'll say, oh, I'm in Washington, D.C., or I'm in Paris, or I'm in a cave, or I am,
Right.
with an Indian tribe, or, yeah, it's just fascinating where you end up.
Something earlier that you said, in regard to looking around for our loved ones,
Yeah.
that are with us. So, do we call those people, those around us right now, soulmates? Or do we have several? You mentioned that you could be a father, a son, a daughter of the same individual that you're here with. You could alternate, who you
Yes.
are. Do we all
Yes.
have a group of soulmate or soulmate family?
You have like a soul family, like about 15 people that you tend to reincarnate with over and over and over again to like help each other learn lessons. So it's usually typically the people that are right around you.
Right.
But you can have the thing about soulmates is a soulmate, you could have a soulmate in all your lives, but in some lives, they're just your best friend. They're just there as your confidant. They're just there's to someone to lean on. And in the next lifetime, they could be your lover or something like that. They could be your real life partner. It's just whatever you need to be able to live out the experiences that you need to learn from in each lifetime. Everybody plays their little role, right? Okay, this time I'm going to be the mom, and this time I'm going to be the dad, and this time I'm going to be the brother or the sister, and I'm going to help you with this, and I'm going to help you with that, and then I'm going to help you with your stuff. So this is how we're going to work this out. I mean, the pre-birth plan, my understanding of the pre-birth plan, it's very intricate, and there's all these little things. You're going to meet this person here, and they're going to help you with this, and you're going to meet this person there. Now, you also have free will, and we also have the amnesia. You get here and you're like, I don't remember what I was supposed to do.
I do that when I look for my phone, so it's okay.
Yeah, so you have the amnesia and you have free will. So if you're going down a direction and you really need to learn this lesson, but you're like, no way, I'm not going to do it, you have free will to go off that path and go do what you want to do. Now, will it help you to do something different? It may help in different ways, but it didn't really help you to do what you really came here to do. So you may have to come back and do it again. Yay!
It's it's yeah, it's like, "Repeat that grade, please."
Yes, exactly, exactly,
Yeah, we
exactly.
don't wanna do that. How do at least we should try to strive not to wanna do that.
Right,
So,
right.
can we explore unresolved emotions, fears, and phobias? I mean, like, what we have today, is there something like, how do we explore that? If we go back through a past life, let's say that we have some fears, emotions, or phobias that, we experience now. Like, I hate spiders. I mean,
Okay,
I was a cop, I told you. Okay, I go up
right.
against guys twice my size. I have no problem going into a dark building, You know what I mean? I've had
Right.
guns pointed at me, knives pointed at me. I've had fights, you name it. Okay. But I have my wife get the spiders out of the house.
Right. Right.
So something like this, is that something, I mean, we're going at a very simplistic level here, but
Right.
realistically, is that something that would probably be a reflective of a past life that we can go back to that past life and resolve?
You could find out during a past, like, well, is this is where you I could ask the question, like, is this lifetime somewhere where this fear of spiders came to be? And it could be, or it not could not be, because your subconscious takes you back to the time that you need most to learn from in this lifetime. Like, I'm just guiding you there, but the subconscious mind is like, I'm in control, I'm going to take you where you need to go. Now, what you could do is do a quantum healing session with me where I take you through past lives, and then I get you to talk to your higher self, which is you. Your higher self is you. It's just the form of, it's that little bit of you that's in this body from your higher self, which is you in the spirit realm. So there's just this little tiny bit of you in this body. And we connect with your higher self when we say, hey, why does Michael have this fear of spiders? What happened? What is he supposed to learn from this? Why does he have such this fear? And your higher self will say, because when Michael was little, blah, 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 and the spider came and he got a spider bite and now he never, whatever, you know. But your higher self will tell you, why you're so scared of these spiders, and then what can we do to alleviate that? Can we remove that fear? And usually the higher self will say yes. Or if the higher self says no, then I will say, is there a belief behind that fear that's holding Michael back from letting go of this? Oh yeah, there's a belief. Can we work on that belief? And the higher self will usually say yes, let's work on that belief, and then that fear of spiders should just dissipate after that.
It's interesting how the process comes about from that
Yeah.
perspective. And I'm assuming, I know that you go back and take people through their childhood traumas and so
Mhm.
forth as part of your procedure,
Yeah.
that you have done that with some of your clients. And I'm guessing, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm guessing that when you, instead of saying I'm guessing, let's talk about it from this perspective. So, in dealing with individuals that have childhood trauma,
Hmm.
is it easier for you to work through that childhood trauma from the basis of a past life or the basis of the actual childhood trauma that they've gone through presently? Because I mean, I worked domestic violence for like 4 years straight, just domestic violence, and I saw a lot of that.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Um, the one person I could think of, well, actually, there's a couple. How I deal with it is just to take them through a quantum healing, because what we do is when we talk to the higher self will say, "Oh, this was part of the plan. We knew that she could deal with this, and so that's why we put her in this position." And then I say, "Okay, can we heal this part?
Right,
Can we heal this? Can we take away all of this angst and drama from that?" And usually the higher self will say yes. And we go, okay, we're releasing it. Let me know when you're done. And then let's fill it with creator's love and light. So one woman had stuff in her throat because she wasn't able to tell things that she needed to tell that were happening between her parents. Her parents kind of put her in the middle of their relationship
which is
and did
unfortunate.
things that that's just what she needed to learn. And so we just released that, and she was like coughing and trying to get it out and just letting it go and knowing that that's done and we don't have to deal with that anymore because now you're an adult. And so then we just fill it in with creator's love and light. And it's really a beautiful experience.
And I think that kind of connects to Reiki because that's your fifth chakra,
Yeah.
is your throat chakra, correct?
Yes. Yes.
So from
Yes.
that perspective, the communication aspect of it being blocked,
Yeah.
it allows you
Yeah.
to clear that block from the Reiki perspective as well as a
Yes.
regression
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah. You can feel it too. Because I had somebody already give me a quantum healing, and they're like, "Oh, are there any emotional blocks in your body?" And you just, as you're laying there, you're like, "Oh, I can feel something here in my shoulder," and it'll just start to get warm. Okay, well,
Interesting.
I don't know
Yeah.
what it is, but it needs to not be there anymore. So let's release
Get
that.
rid of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it can help us understand. I mean, we've talked about quantum healing. We've mentioned it several times.
Mhm.
What exactly is a quantum healing in regard to what this whole process is?
So the quantum healing is I basically put you into past life regression. It's hypnotherapy. We go through a couple of different past lives so that you can experience that. And then actually before the session, about we create a whole list of questions that you want to ask your higher self. So we do this before the session and it takes about an hour. I have some questions I usually ask, and then you say, yeah, I like that one. No, I don't. I want to ask about what was the contract with my sister? Why did we never get along? Why did Joey kick me in third grade and now I had to go get a cast or broke my leg, or why did I always feel like there was a ghost in my house? Or, I mean, you can ask any question you want with quantum healing. So I put you into past lives and then I take you to meet up with your higher self and we just start going through all of the question to get the answers that you need so that you can close the door on some things that you're like, now I know the answer and I don't have to worry about that or think about that ever again. I know that the reason why Joey kicked me a leg and broke my leg was because I needed to learn XYZ, right? Or I needed to have that contract with my sister because I need to learn patience. And she was here to teach me patience. And then you can ask questions like, hmm, when am I going to meet my soulmate or my soul partner? Oh, and how will I know when they're in my life? So then you're exploring the future, right? How can I be a better person? How can I be a better parent to my child? How can I better communicate with my partner? Those are the kinds of questions you can ask as well. And that's really fascinating because then when you're done with the session, you're like, oh, I know what to do, or I know when I might meet this person. Is it going to be in the next year? Is it going to be in the next 3 years? Am I going to meet them in the state that I live in? Am I going to meet them when I'm on vacation? It's just fascinating what the answers that come through from the higher self, because the higher self knows all your past lives, your current life, and all your future lives. And you just get to ask whatever you want.
Yeah, that's like walking up to an ATM,
Yeah.
and
Can I
pressing the
have
right
twenty
buttons and
dollars? Can I have $50? Can I have $100?
exactly. But in a memory or in a tell me what's going to happen or what
Yeah.
in lieu of a $20 bill slipping out, although 20 bucks coming up would be pretty good too.
Yeah.
It's a let me I want to explore this or I want to figure that out or tell me what I'm going
Right.
to do in this life kind of a situation.
Right.
I know that we were talking about our higher self and the memories that you get from a client or from somebody that's going through
Mhm.
this, you get from the subconscious. Do we
Right.
store our past life memories within our subconscious and our soul
Yes.
at our soul level, or is that
Yeah.
something that is stored somewhere else?
It's in the subconscious. I mean, the subconscious is your higher self. It's you. It's you.
Which is
It knows. It knows all.
in digging those. I mean, obviously, as we spoke earlier before this program, before we started talking, I understand the concept of being able to pull things out from the subconscious and dealing with an
Right.
investigative perspective.
Right.
And you kind of do the same thing in regard to that. That we all have those memories deeper within our
Yes.
subconscious. Why do you think that we close those memories out? We just can't. I guess the right question would be, why do we need somebody to help us pull those memories out instead of us just kind of going, hey, I'm going to go back to this life and check it out?
I mean, you could do that. You could do it on your own. You could go to YouTube and find a video and play there and see what you get. I think it's just what are you comfortable with, and
Well,
who are you with?
I think, let me rephrase the question. We can cut this part out. Um, do we have the ability? Why do we not have the ability ourselves? Let me do this again, just a second. Let me
It's
make
okay.
this mark so I know where we're at here. I guess the question is our subconscious sometimes needs help in getting it unlocked.
Yes.
Why do you think we can't just open and unlock that? that subconscious ourselves, just sitting here, have a cup of tea, and just relax and go, I want to visit my past life in 1642, and be able to go back and do that. Do you think that our subconscious protects us by having those all kind of buried in there?
Yes, and that's kind of, we have that amnesia. When we come here, when we reincarnate, we have the amnesia that just says, okay,
That's
you're
the
not going
word.
to know what's going to happen. You're just going to come and you're going to have these experiences, and we're going to see if you remember to wake up and follow the breadcrumbs and do all the things that bring you joy.
That you're supposed to. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
the word I
really
was looking for,
follow your
amnesia.
joy. Yeah. Because if you came here and you knew what you were going to do, like I always talk about that, like, what if we didn't have the amnesia and we just knew all of our past lives and knew what was going to happen in the future, and we knew what we were supposed to come here to do?
Right.
Like, oh, okay, I'm going to meet Michael and Michael's going to teach me how to be a better person. And okay, so do I really want to, like, maybe I'll just wait a few years before I call Michael? Because I have all the time in the world. I don't need to know how to be a better person for Michael today. I think I'll just wait a while. I'm just going to procrastinate, right? You have those people that are going to procrastinate if they
Right.
knew what they were going to do. Then you're going to have those people that get here and, like, okay, let's get this done. Okay, I'm going to learn from Michael, and then I got to go talk to Patty, and then I have to meet Sally, and then in, 2 years or whatever, you're like, okay, I'm done. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. What do I do now?
What do I do now?
I got everything checked on the check mark on the
Yeah, I've done it
checklist.
all. Can you take me back, please? Can we start over?
Yeah, that's it
you
is.
know?
Do you think that at some point in our lives, I mean, that the the philosophy that I'm learning, or at least that I've been told about, is that we may come here for some, like I say, specific number of lives to be able to understand where we're at, what we had to learn to get to a higher level, to where
Mhm.
at that higher level we're home.
Yeah.
Does that make
Yeah, we
sense?
have to learn all of our lessons. We have to ascend higher and higher and higher and higher. And there will be a point where you've learned them and you don't have to come back to Earth. And because you've ascended so high that you've learned everything, and then you become like a master or something, and
Right.
you help others here on Earth. Your goal is to become godlike, is to ascend to that level. And I
Right.
don't know how long that's going to take to get there. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm sure I do know, but right now, because I have amnesia, no idea, right? But you're just supposed to learn more and learn more and learn more and learn more and have those experiences until you're done having the experiences. You don't have to come back to Earth anymore, and you are then helping the people who are on Earth.
Right.
So
As
I
long as
don't, you know,
we don't get up there and kind of go, I got to go back again.
I know, like, oh, I have to do it again. What?
drop our head and mope off under the corner.
Right. I'm not ready. I just got here. It's fabulous
Uh,
here. I don't want to leave.
we can only hope
right. Right.
that things go the way we're supposed to go. Um, in regard to past life regression, how long does it typically take? I mean, something from the first process. Tell me the process that we, as an individual, if I came to you and said, "Okay, I'm having some issues. I just want to figure out." We we don't necessarily have to have an issue, maybe that we want to
Right.
work out. Maybe what do we just want to explore part of our past lives and
Yes.
say, "Okay, tell me about my past lives so that I have a better understanding of who I am today and why I am who I am today."
Right.
We can still do that, correct?
Yes. So you can just have like a 1 hour session with me, and I just take you through the past life regression, and you find out who you are and who you've been with and what you did. Or you can have the past life regression beyond quantum healing session, which is a 3 hour session, because we have to create all the
Right.
questions that we're going to ask. And then we go through the past life regression. Then we go talk to the higher self. So the other session is just a little bit longer, but you're getting healing out of it, and you're getting answers to the questions that you've always wanted answers to.
Well, and I think we all have questions, and we want
Yeah,
things answered as to why is this happening to me now?
right.
Why am I in this particular situation? Or why can't I eat ice cream, for example.
Right.
What did I do in a past life where I can't eat ice cream in this life?
Right.
I mean, that's very simple terms, but realistically, you've got individuals that it may be as simple as that. As pertain to, I'm just fascinated by what I or who I was. I shouldn't say what I was.
Right.
Could be what I was,
Right.
as we said earlier, or who I was in a past life, and what did I bring forward from those lives with me?
Right.
You know what I mean? Just as an educational opportunity for our soul to really get to understand that to that point. So it's nice to know that that can be done as well. We don't always necessarily have to go back and fix something
Right.
with
You're just
a past life
observing.
regression,
Yeah.
just an observer. Yeah,
Yeah.
which I think is brilliant. Gives us, I think it, I mean, correct me, but I think it's a brilliant opportunity for us to understand who we are and why we're here
Yeah.
and what we still have left to do at certain particular times, what we still have left to do. And just, I should ask this question out loud, thinking of that one. Once we figure out kind of why we're here, what our purpose may be, and a little bit of that, that doesn't necessarily mean that life. This is a very morbid question. That life stops then, correct?
Right. We're now just supposed to go do more of it.
Yeah,
you
just kind of
know?
move forward. I mean, there may be people that have
Yeah.
that question. Well, if you help me figure out why I have a fear of flying, I don't have a fear of flying, but why if I have a fear of flying, or why I don't like hiking, or something along that line, or why am I bulimic? Why am I anorexic? Or why am I
Right.
in this relationship? Once we figure that out, we get the answers to them. That doesn't
Right.
mean life stops. That means it
No.
gives you the opportunity to continue to enjoy life and make it better for yourself, right?
Right. Because then the next question is, how can I stay more in alignment with who I'm supposed to be?
And
And
that's a
like, so
good
you
thing.
can get that question answered too. Oh, you're supposed to go do the things you love, or oh, you need to really keep focusing on this one area that you really
Right.
enjoy. Keep doing that. Keep bringing that joy to your life, because that's the thing that keeps you moving
Right.
forward and stays aligned. If you're really into, like, I don't know, pyrotechnics, or if you're into like exploding buildings, well, don't do that. I mean, obviously, because you're going to hurt people. But how can you bring how can you then come back into alignment with why you're really here? Or how can you
For a
stay
positive.
connected to your spirit guides, or connected to your spirit team? How can you stay more connected to them?
How do you think angels, and speaking of guides, angels and guides fit into this concept?
I think they fit into, just like in the pre-birth plan, we're planning this whole thing with them. And they can't tell us what to do because we
Right.
have free will, but they can nudge us along,
To where we need to
like,
go.
okay, you kind of, let's go here. Let's stay away from this. Let's go this direction. They are here to guide us with their words and their love, but they can't tell us particularly what to do.
From there. Do you think if we have a past life regression and it takes us back to a particular life, we once you open that door, do we still have the ability to retain that information? Now that I know we were talking about amnesia, but
Right.
once you open that door, do we have the ability to retain that memory?
Um, Typically, you'll retain it only because I'm gonna, put you on a Zoom call and I'm gonna send you the
Right.
recording. And then you can ask more questions, like, why, I wonder why I was, a gangster in a past life or whatnot. I wonder what that was all about. And I wonder, it also will open up your eyes
Right.
to what's really going on in the world, right? What's really my bigger purpose here? And you'll kind of probably mull that over and retain a little bit of that, just like your wife. And you said, about being a rock. She has thought about that for a while, I'm assuming,
Yep.
and really wondered about that, I'm sure.
For years.
you know yeah, so
Probably, well, 2005, what is that, about 18 years ago,
oh yeah.
roughly?
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, retaining that. I mean, she probably doesn't remember the entire session, but I'm sure there's bits and parts that she remembers that are like, that really stuck with her and made her think about the bigger picture, right? That
Yeah.
where this is just a tiny little slice on your whole scale of your lifetimes.
Well, I think that's where deja vu comes in when we say, "Oh, I
Yeah.
think I've been here before," kind of a thing. And when
Mm-hmm.
you may visit a place and you kind of went, "Wow, this really looks familiar." That just gives
Or
us the pause to say, "Hey, maybe I need to explore this a little bit more. Maybe I do have a connection to this place or this person or where you see somebody and you go, hey, I know that person, but you can't think of where you know that person from.
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah,
mean, when you say that, it's also about like hobbies that you like or things that you're really attracted to. Oh, I really like gardening, or
yeah,
oh, I really like, woodworking or whatnot. You could have been a gardener or a woodworker in a past life, and
that's
you're
one.
just bringing it through, right? You could have been somebody who made axes, or who did things, who made guns or swords or something in a past life, and now you're attracted to metalwork or something in this lifetime,
Yeah,
and
it
you
makes a
don't
lot
know
of sense.
why.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's an opportunity. I think it's an opportunity for us to connect with our soul. Is
yes.
what I think. It gives us. We all look. I believe wholeheartedly in mind, body, and soul. I think that
Hmm.
we have to have our mind, body, and soul connected in order to function as a valuable human being. And I
Yes.
mean, that's kind of a weird way of saying that, but in my opinion, a valuable human being is one that gives compassion and humanity and gives back to those around him or
Yes.
her, and that they contribute to the positivity of society. From that perspective,
Right.
that's what I feel is a valuable human being. So it gives us an opportunity, I think, to understand from a soul perspective and connect with our soul, so that understand that we are part of a bigger picture. We are part of the
Hmm.
a universe connectivity, that we are all connected in some
Yes.
form or another, and at some point in time with one another. And it's a beautiful thing, in my opinion. I think from that perspective, I think it's a beautiful thing.
Yes, it is beautiful. It's beautiful to think that we're all connected. It's beautiful to think that if I sit here and I raise my vibration, that I could then be affecting and raising the vibration of others and
Yeah,
lifting them up as well. I mean,
my
how
mantra.
beautiful is that?
It's well, that's my mantra: inspire, motivate, and educate.
Yeah.
I think that that's to touch somebody else from that perspective. It's a brilliant way to live your life. So I appreciate what you do, because you allow
Thank you.
people to look at get a better introspect within themselves and understand a little more of their purpose, and understand that they can overcome and move
Hmm.
forward, and redefine themselves if necessary, and find new purpose if necessary. And it's a really good opportunity, especially reflecting back on past lives and how those lives may affect or have affected us within this present life, and
Right.
how that affects us in future ones when we go to pick them again. Because
Yeah.
I think if we learn something from here and go, oh, yeah, maybe next time I come around, I need to remember that.
Yeah.
That's a no no. Don't do that.
Yeah. Well,
uh,
we all have that life review. So when we cross over, we have a beautiful life review. So we get to watch everything that happened in this lifetime.
it,
But
it,
it's not with judgment. There's no judgment.
it's like, do you ever watch the movie Defending Your Life? Defending My Life?
I don't know.
Oh, it's with Meryl Streep, and I can picture him, and I can't remember his name. But it's
Albert
about
Brooks?
Albert Brooks. Yes, he
Okay, yeah,
died.
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
they both died, and they end up,
Right.
and they go to do their past life, and he's next to her, and she's saving her kids from a fire in his house, and she's a hero, and he switches over to him, and he's getting eaten by a lion.
Oh my God. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he's going, yeah, when I did this, I saved my kids, and what happened to you? I got eaten by a lion. Uh, that's not always what's going to happen, but I always like to
Right.
interject a little humor while we're.
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of
Yes.
my favorite movies, actually, because it kind of gives us that crossing over. That's kind of what I would like to picture it as. You get to go to a
Right.
waiting area, and somebody comes in, and if you want to, I think there was a point where he got somebody ordered something like 20 pies, and said, oh, there's no calories here. You can eat whatever you want. You know, do whatever you want. But
Do whatever you
yeah,
want.
but every time somebody talks about the review, I remember
Yeah.
that scene.
That is funny. I'll
Yeah,
have to go rewatch that because that would be fun to watch now.
yeah, it's cool. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about you, what you offer,
Oh,
because you have a
yes.
class. that you offer, as well as how somebody, if they're looking to come to you for past life regression in regard to helping themselves move forward in whatever manner that they are seeking, you have the ability to be able to do that. Can we share that with everybody?
Yeah, so you can sign up for just a 1 hour past life regression and just to have a wonderful experiencing your past lives. If you want to take it further, you can do a past life regression beyond quantum healing. We do a little consultation first to make sure that's the right fit for you, that you and I are fit for each other. And then we come up with a whole list of questions you get to get answered through your higher self. And that's a 3 hour session. Or I have this Attract Your Soul Partner class. I had so many people that come to me that they're like, when am I going to meet my soul partner? And how do I do it? And they're not coming, and I'm on Tinder or whatever, and I can't find anybody. Well, this is sort of a class to, talk about healing that inner child. It's about forgiveness. It's about getting really serious about what it is you're looking for. Well, I want tall, dark, and handsome. And, that could be the pizza guy that comes to the door, and that's not a right fit for you. And then how to bring them into your life. And what does that look like when they're in your life, and making room and making space for them to be there with you. So that's the Attract Your Soul Partner class. And then if you just want to learn about past lives and you're just not ready to sign up yet, then I have a free past life regression mini course that's on my website. Everything that I talked about here today is on my website, stephanieleemedium.com. Or you can follow me on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook. I'm under that same Stephanie Lee Medium. That is it's my handle.
That's your brand. That's your brand.
That's my brand.
And I'm sticking to it. I will make sure that that link is in the show notes so that people have an easy way to connect with you and find
Thank you.
your services and your resources. Thank you very much for coming on and sharing your experience and your journey with us. I've learned a little bit myself, and I really appreciate that. This is one more thing before you go. So before we go, do you have any words of wisdom you can share?
Yeah, my word of wisdom that I always want people to know is you never die. You are pure energy, pure source energy, love energy. And you will be you won't be in these bodies, but you will definitely live on forever and ever.
That's a
So
brilliant
don't
message.
worry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
brilliant message. Gives us hope.
Yeah,
We all want hope.
for sure.
Stephanie, thank you again very much for being on the show. I really appreciate it. Thank you for sharing your journey again, and thank you for
Thank
sharing your
you.
wisdom with us. And everybody else that's out there listening and watching, one more thing before you go. Have a great day. Have a great week. And thanks for listening.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to this episode of One More Thing Before You Go. Check out our website at beforeyougopodcast.com. You can find us as well as subscribe to the program and rate us on your favorite podcast listening platform.